Welcome everybody to Baku. It is the ExA Racing League, of course, and it is, of course, X3 here tonight. We're in Azerbaijan, and we're here at the street circuit of Baku. I have a feeling this is going to be a very, very interesting one. All things considered, I think we're going to see a lot of safety cars since this is a very narrow street circuit. So we might be in for a long one tonight around this 6-kilometer street circuit, 20 corners, 2 DRS zones, and we've got 18 minutes of qualifying, which has just started. And the drivers are in the pits, just getting ready to head out on track right now. And just one moment while I fix my audio. I believe that is okay. Okay, so a couple of drivers leaving the pits now. And it is round 7, by the way, of EXA. And that means we are over halfway through this season. And let's have a recap of the drivers' standings right now in X3. So Spartans in the Alfa Romeo currently leads the championship only by 4 points to Alexis in the McLaren. So it's very tight at the top of the drivers' standings, with Fresh sitting behind, a couple of points behind in P3. And then when it comes to the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes and Alfa Romeo are actually tied on 129 points. So now we've crossed the halfway mark into the season. We're on round 7 of 12, and everything is still very much to play for. This championship is going to probably be going all the way to the final race, as there is absolutely nothing between a lot of these drivers in the championship. There hasn't been many consistencies throughout this division, which always makes it interesting. But Baku, I feel, is going to be a bit of a game changer here. Anything could happen with, I'm gonna guess, at least 2 or 3 safety cars around this very narrow track. Not at all any runoff. Lots of 90-degree sharp corners. We'll see cars going into each other and going into the wall. That's what I'm guessing, of course, as well. The castle section, which we can see Boeing in the Red Bull Boeing in the Red Bull just go through. That's only 1 car wide, so if any 2 people try to go around that, it will be a disaster. But let's let's put our attention to Mr. Bean here. First person out on a flying lap, heading down one of the 2 DRS zones, one down the main straight, and then the second one just a few corners after. So the first few corners are these tight 90 degrees where it's really easy to lock up, go straight on, not get enough rotation through the car. We can see him heading round sector 2 here. All of these incredibly technical corners. So I wonder if we'll see any DNFs through qualifying, with people pushing a bit hard and taking off a wheel or 2 as he heads through the casual section. That was almost an I am stupid Charles Leclerc moment. That front right incredibly close to the wall, but he gets through and is now heading down the hill towards one of the final braking zones and into, well, not one of the final braking zones, heavy braking zones. Get it turned in, very easy to brake. Too late on that corner and head straight into the wall. And then he's got the fastest sector 2, of course. That could have been track limits there, but I don't think the game picked it up. And now heading down towards the back straight, flat out around these few corners. And we're seeing a bit of lag there on the game. Not sure what's going on there, if that's connection. Hopefully that won't be a problem. And the time to beat is going to be a 1:42.7, immediately beaten by Pool Diver and the Williams right behind. So it's 1:41 flat here, which is going to be the time to beat. And Daniel pushes Mr. Bean down. 4/10 off Pool Diver in the Williams. And let's spot some other drivers on on a hot lap here. We've got Adamy in the McLaren. Heading through Sector 2. Got a sharp, sharp right-hander here. Very easy to outbrake yourself in pretty much all of these corners. Oh, that was really close to the wall. And ExA Rowley retires. I believe that's because he's crashed down in Sector 3. So Fresh setting the second fastest time in the Ferrari, the 1:41.3. And Adamy hits the wall there, which I was talking about before. Very easy to hit the wall on that corner. But not sure on any wing damage, but the wing damage isn't going to be too much of a problem for the rest of this lap. It's just going to be about how much has that contact with the wall cost him when it comes to time. He set a 41.3 in the second sector, so about 1.3 seconds or 1 second off the ideal pace in that sector alone, and that brings him 42.2. So second slowest of the runners so far. Alexis still in the pit lane. And Spartans, the championship leader, on a hot lap right now, heading through the castle section. And flying down the hill, what I would call the head of this sort of key-shaped circuit. Moves to the left there. Oh, that is some rear locking. Going around that corner, lucky not to completely spin out and hit the wall there, but managed to get the car rotated. Sets the fastest Sector 2, despite all of that, with a 40.5 in the second sector, a 35.6 in the first, so definitely very quick and very respectable sector times. He's heading down the straight. He's going to open the DRS now, give him that extra straight line speed. He's about to cross the line and go second fastest, only short of 0.04 of a second from Bushy in the Red Bull, currently on pole position, who is currently probably going to be heading to the pits, we're going to see. And James, who won last week in Canada, currently sits in 4th place so far out of the 11 drivers who have put a lap down. We've had 3 people who will not be competing in the rest of qualifying and also haven't put a lap down. I wonder if that's because of crashing. So let's have a look at Charlie, who has shown very good pace overall, but hasn't been able to be consistent enough and has been, in my opinion, pretty over-aggressive, which has cost them a couple of good race, a couple of podiums, honestly, and a couple of races here. Only goes 10th fastest on that first run for them in qualifying, 1:41.8. So I think Charlie has a lot of pace, but in some of the races, some mistakes have been made, which has shoved them down the order quite a lot. Also getting some frame drops here, which I'm going to try to fix, maybe just by lowering the graphics settings on my game, because I'm not sure why, but we are getting some drop in quality. Maybe just put that to medium. I mean, everything else I don't really want to turn down too much. So Bushy still holds the fastest time so far in the Red Bull of a 1:40.8. Their teammate all the way down in 9th, 1:41.7 for them. And we've got a couple of drivers in the pits, a couple of drivers on their out laps, and a couple of drivers on the in laps. So let's see here. James about to cross the line now. Not sure if that was an improvement. It was an improvement. Brings them up to 3rd. Was it an improvement, sorry? Yes, brings them up to 3rd. For the 1:40.9. So a tenth of a second between our top three right now. And Chaz, I believe this is going to be an in-lap for Chaz. They've got no ERS left. Let's have a look at Charlie. Hasn't had a great first sector. Yeah, straight into the pits for them. Not sure if this is a connection issue here with this lag. And that is Dark Fade with no front wing. So clearly an incident at the beginning of the, towards the middle of the lap for Dark Fade, as they've got no front wing left. So Mr. Bean was the first person to set a time and is currently slowest of the runners. The only person not to set a time so far is Dark Fade. And Alexis, who has just started a flying lap, heading down the second DRS zone, which is after turn 2, and now they're heading round turn 3, the third 90-degree corner of the lap. And then turn 4 is also a 90-degree corner. So these first 5 or 6 corners are pretty much 90 degrees. In fact, this one is a chicane, but still very slow, very tight corners here. And Alexis puts a 36.7 in the first sector, so not the fastest we've seen. And Bushy, by the way, while we're watching this, currently has the fastest sector 2 and sets the fastest time of the race, 1:40.5. So big improvement from previously, and Alexis abandoning the lap, letting the Williams through. Clearly not happy with what's going on there. So Bushy manages to improve their time and is holding down pole by 0.3 now. Let's have a look at Fresh Air. He won in Spa, and I don't want to say by a stroke of luck, but it was, I did not see it coming. With a lot of time penalties and 2 people running out of fuel, Fresh managed to be in the right place at the right time and go from about 5th to 1st in, well, basically in the final 3 corners, just before the bus stop chicane. And he's now heading down the main straight here. Set some decent first and second sector times. Not our fastest, but definitely an improvement. And that is shown for it with 1:40.7. Pushes Spartans down into 3rd and moves himself up to 2nd in that Ferrari. Not far off the Red Bull at all. 0.2 between them. We've got 5 minutes left of qualifying. And most drivers are in the pits, changing their tyres. You get 3 soft tyres for qualifying, and putting new tyres on for each run. So let's see if we can spot any other drivers starting a flying lap. I don't think so. Adamy is about to cross the line in just a moment, but let's bring our attention to Pool Diver, who's entering Sector 3 now. Does the fastest Sector 2, 40.4, and a very good Sector 1 as well. So this could be pole position for Pool Diver. Currently sitting in 6th. He's heading down the main straight. DRS is going to be open. Is he heading into the pits? Surely not. He's at a stomping time. But straight into the pits. My telemetry was telling me he had the fastest Sector 2. So, not sure why he pitted. Maybe on his Delta it would not have been an improvement. But let's see if we can spot any other drivers now who are on an out lap or a flying lap. Dark Fade in the Haas. Only person not to set a time yet who is still in this qualifying session. We saw him previously with no front wing. Oh, that was really close to the barrier there. Very close to the barrier. Bull Diver actually telling us in the chat he wants to do a final run with better tyres. So sacrificing the fastest Sector 2 and an improvement for basically banking on the fact that this next lap is going to go well. And Dark Fade heading down the main straight. Not the fastest sector times we've seen, but pretty average. Personal best sector 2. Straight into the pits again. So, no time yet for Dark Fade. And a couple of drivers, well, a lot of drivers starting to leave the pit lane now to go onto their final flying lap of qualifying. 2.5 minutes left. And they have to cross the line within that time. So, Hey Tony has rejoined the session in the other Haas. Hasn't set a time down, so they're only going to have one attempt at doing this. As everyone you can see on the minimap flooding out of the pits. And the man on provisional pole so far is Bushy in the Red Bull, warming up those tyres. And let's have a look at Chaz right now. Currently on a hot lap, got a bit of traffic to navigate. He's got that Williams in front of him, and let's see him round the fastest sector 1 for Chaz. Would you look at that? 35.4 seconds in the first sector, and now he's rounding towards the castle section. Very easy to pull a Charles Leclerc here, and he almost does. There might have been contact there. Surprise if there was contact. That didn't take his wheel off, so that was very, very close. But now heading down the hill, he's got an Alfa Romeo who is hopefully going to move out the way. Doesn't really, not ideal at all for Chaz, but luckily he spots it on the minimap. And now round to the final heavy braking zone of the lap. And lifted there, so clearly abandoning this lap, maybe because of that Alfa Romeo. Had a very good first sector, not so much of a strong second sector, but hey ho, I'm really confused on what this lag is about when we ride on board with the drivers. And this is IVR Flare in the AlphaTauri, heading around the first sector, but soon we're going to join the Red Bull of Bushy as they're about to cross the line now, and IVR actually invalidated that lap. And now Bushy has the ERS enabled and now the DRS enabled, heading down the main straight to start their final flying lap. 20 seconds left in qualifying now. Both Haas drivers yet to set a time, and Bushy heads round the first corner using all of the track now, and then it's going to be corner 2 and then DRS wide open, accelerating out of the corner of the narrow streets of Baku. Heavy braking now into the third corner. Lovely use of the track there, really close to the wall on the apex and on the exit of that corner now. Towards the chicane, get it turned in nice and tight. Set yourself up for a good exit here as it's a short straight. And I'm really not sure what's going on with this connection lag. Not enjoying it at all. Hopefully it gets fixed for the race. But now towards the castle section. Really so close to the wall there. I think the getting on the TV cam really just shows how close people are getting towards this to the wall there through the castle section. But now heavy braking downhill. Always tricky to get right. You can easily lock up and get straight into the wall. And now around the final heavy braking zone, and then it's flat out towards the line, and that was a big skid exiting that corner. But he set the fastest sector 2, but James has put it on pole so far with a 140.3. Is Bushy gonna be able to beat that as he opens the DRS, flying down the main straight? He's got to improve by just over a tenth. He doesn't. 300th short of James there. So James currently on pole for now. Fresh, can he beat it in the Ferrari? DRS wide open, hasn't had any of the fastest sector times, so this third sector has to be brilliant. And I don't think it was pole for Fresh, and this lag is really not fun. So 4th for Fresh. Just going to try fixing the frame drops there. So, James is on pole for Baku. He won the last race in Canada, so clearly feeling a bit more confident, but it wasn't by much. Bushy in the Red Bull, only only 27 thousandths of a second between them, followed up by Pool Diver in the Williams. Then it's Fresh in fourth. Good performance for him here in the Ferrari. And it's Daniel in fifth, Spartans in sixth in the Alfa Romeo. Currently our championship leader, but only by 4 points. So if Fresh scores big points, he could move himself up into second, or maybe take the lead of the championship, depending on how Alexis and Spartans do today. So the race about to start in just a moment. The drivers are going to, well, they're all going to have to load in. So we're going to have to wait for the people with perhaps the consoles and the slower computers to load in, and then choose their setups and strategy, and then we will be lights out and away we go. And I believe we're going to have 26 laps around this street circuit here in Azerbaijan. I'm going to run the prediction real quick for will pole be converted. Start prediction. Will pole be converted? So you can start your prediction there. Bet your channel points to see if pole's going to be converted. And we've just about joined in time for the lights to go out, and James, starting on pole, gets a good start. Bit of wheel spin there, and Bushy comes in, slots into second place, and there's a bit of contact in the back there. Everybody going wide in turn one, and everybody has made it through the first corner, just about, and James leads them down the second DRS zone. Of course, DRS not enabled within the first few laps, and now we're looking at Fresh heading around turn 3, closely followed by championship rival Spartans. Everybody in the front seemingly making their way round pretty well, as both Alpines going wheel to wheel around one of the 90-degree right-handers, and everybody being sensible so far in this race. No rash dive bombs, easy to make and go deep, but everybody so far has made it through the first sector, which I have to say I am quite surprised that that has happened. All things considered, like we saw in Canada, lots of safety cars, and I presume we're going to see the same later in this 26 lap race, half the length of an official Grand Prix. So the gap in front is already 0.7 of a second, as James has made quite a lot of gains, and Bushy has hit the wall. I wonder if there's damage on that Red Bull. It doesn't look like it. Of course, reduced damage here at ExA, but that has opened the gap up quite a lot between James and Bushy. Already over a second as we're about to start the second lap, and everybody else, the rest of the pack, all very close together. Possible tyre strategies: medium hard or a two-stopper, which we're probably not going to see today. And let's have a look at the tyres while we can. So most people choosing the hard tyre. Well, it's actually very split between the mediums and the hards, about even between the two. People on the mediums looking to get an early advantage. And James is moving down positions. What has happened there to our race leader? We have to know. I don't know. He must have spanned. His car went invisible. There's wing damage there. So heavy contact has pushed him down places. And Fresh is now in the lead of this race, closely followed behind by Bushy. I'm not sure how Bushy didn't manage to take the lead of that. Maybe had to take some avoiding action, which has allowed Fresh to really take full advantage and start leading this race now. On lap 2 already, James down in 6th place. So I wish there was a replay system we could see in F123 just so we could see what has happened to our race leader. He was well ahead and has now dropped down quite a bit behind, but is in the big pack from 11th all the way to 6th. Everybody within a second of each other, and then it's 1 to 4, all within a second of each other. There's a yellow flag there. That is Mr. Bean retiring from the session. Full safety car as he has crashed just at the castle section, presumably with a lot of debris. So there you go. There is safety car number 1. We're probably going to see James take the chance to pit, maybe, just to get that front wing fixed. But the race already slowing down on lap 2 with a full safety car. Are we going to see James head into the pits? Yes, we are. We're also going to see Bushy head into the pits. Very interesting. Just going to watch Bushy, see if they put on a new front wing onto that car. Yes, they are putting a new front wing onto Bushy. So it turns out he did have damage in the opening lap and has used this chance to head into the pits, put on some fresh mediums, and James put on the fresh hards. A couple of other people pitting, actually. Alexis heading into the pit lane. Not sure what we're looking at there on the camera. That is literally just the ground. Anyhow, so 3 people decided to pit under the safety car, and 2 of them were race leaders. Fresh still in the lead, but James started on pole, and then Bushy in second, now all the way down in 17th and 15th. 18 drivers started this race, and we already have 1 out. So everybody is grouped up to the safety car now, so we'll probably see the safety car come in this lap. And Spartan's championship leader made his way up into second already, so it's looking good for him. And his championship competitor, Alexis, all the way down in 16th. So it's looking like Spartans, the 4-point gap between P1 and P2 in the Drivers' Championship is going to be extended. But it's early days. We could have a safety car in the next few laps. Very hard to tell here at ExA. Very hard to tell in X3. We've seen a lot of drama, especially in some of these less runoff circuits where safety cars are inevitable. Sorry, I was doing a yawn. I was doing a yawn there, but my mute button didn't work, so you just heard me yawn. Anyhow, back to the race at hand. We're not seeing safety car in this lap, so hopefully it's in for the next lap and we can get this race back underway. So let's have a look at the position changes. So our bottom bottom 4 drivers have all lost positions, but everyone else is up here as there's a bit of rearranging of the positions. I'm really not enjoying this lag at all. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's highly unusual that we're lagging here. I'm not sure if it's connection to the server or frame drops. It doesn't look like frame drops, that's the thing. So I'm sure it's our connection to the host. Anyhow. So Spartan's up 4 positions and Fresh up 3 positions. Started in 4th, sorry, and now in the lead of the race. And are we going to see the safety car come in this lap? That is the question. Everyone rounding the end of Sector 1, all closely followed behind each other. And we haven't been able to have DRS yet down the 2 DRS zones. The first one being down the main straight, activated about halfway down the straight. And then the second one being after turn 2 and the DRS detection point just before turn 2. So, safety car leading the pack towards the end of Sector 2. Hopefully we'll get the message from race control, the virtual race control at the top of our screen saying the safety car is going to come in. And we can get this race underway as Fresh is leading the pack on the hard tyre, followed by Spartans on the medium. So, yeah, safety car in this lap. Fresh is going to back up the pack as much as possible and warm up those tyres. When he decides to go, he is going to absolutely floor it down the straight. He can't actually go until the safety car goes into the pit lane, which is quite a while down. So, safety car restarts. Typically, that happens at the final corner, but not at Baku here, as we can see the safety car is in. When does Fresh decide to go? Spartan's actually getting alongside. That is not allowed. And now Fresh hits the gas. Spartan's got caught lacking a little bit there. Drivers all behind. Can't overtake until the line, of course, because that would be overtaking on the safety car. And Charlie going down the inside of Adamy and pushes Adamy straight into the wall there. Didn't leave them enough space on the outside. And Adamy falling down the order with no front wing now. I have to say that looked like it was Charlie's fault. And this lag is really getting annoying here. And Spartans locking up as Fresh is still leading. Managed to get a really good lead. And a really good start on the safety car restart. And now Spartans is closely following behind, only by 0.1 of a second. Faster in the first sector by 0.3. I think we're going to see Charlie get a penalty after the race for what happened there with Adamy. And let's see if we can catch any more side-to-side action. Hey, Tony, currently sitting in 9th in the Haas. Past both Red Bulls, who are fighting with Alexis here. Bushy coming out ahead. And wow, that was close between Boeing and the castle section wall. So both Red Bulls in 10 and 11, and then both McLarens in 11-12. As I say that, Alexis makes the move on Boeing towards down the hill and onto Sector 3. So a big battle here for the final point of the race, but we still have a long way to go. And as we saw before, anything could happen here. If we got a yellow flag, is that Rowley in the wall with a missing end plate on that AlphaTauri? That brings him down to last, and Fresh sets the fastest lap of the race out in the lead, 1:44.9, as the Alpine and the Mercedes going to wheel around turn 1, where we saw Charlie shove Adamy off the track, and now they're going wheel to wheel round turn 2, but there almost wasn't enough room there for Daniel in the Alpine, and is now having to chase down Chaz as he think he had to back out of that one. Wasn't quite alongside enough to make the move stick. Round turn 2. Let's have a look at some more midfield fights here. Everyone scrapping around in this track. Another yellow flag, and that is Nick in the Ferrari. Not our race leader, but down in 15th. Having a spin. So Spartans in the first sector, 0.2 faster than Fresh. Really pushing here to try and regain this place. We're going to see DRS enabled very soon, I believe, as Toby DNFs. We've got a full safety car again, and James gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So there we go. Another safety car already. And I wonder how this is going to shape up with our leaders. Are we going to see any more early pitters again? A couple of people getting heated in the X3 chat about all of this contacts, as we've got another full safety car. So as I'm reading it right now, It looks like Dark Fade caused that collision. Well, had the collision with Toby in the Alfa Romeo. So, Fresh, our race leader, heads into the pits to put on a new set of medium tyres. A couple of other people pitting. Pool Diver, Spartans, Daniel, Darkfade, and IVR Flair, and Nick all heading into the pits, which hands the lead of the race to Chaz with 6 laps on those tyres. And now this pack of people who have just pitted need to catch up to the safety car. And we can get this race underway. Only lap 7 so far. But yet, there has already been 2 safety cars within the first 7 laps here at ExA. So, Chaz now leads the race in the Mercedes behind the Mercedes safety car. Then Charlie in P2 in the Alpine, followed by Hey Tony in the Haas. And then it's Alexis up in 4th with Boeing closely followed behind in the Red Bull. So Alexis actually pitted on lap 2, I believe. Lap 2 or lap 3. So, with those people pitting in front of them, they have now managed to make it up to lap 4. Apologies for constantly going silent. For some reason, I can't stop yawning. So, IVR Flair retires from the race. Not sure why. Did they crash on the safety car? No clue. No, you can see on the minimap there that their grey icon is moving. So, I'm not sure why they've retired from the race, but they have. And we're probably going to see the safety car come in next lap, as Adamy is the only person to join the rest of the pack. Or yet to join the rest of the pack. Actually, Boeing heads into the pits with Rowley as well. So a bit of a late pit stop for both of those two. That's going to bring Adamy up a place or 2, perhaps. Let's have a look. This is going to be close, but I think Adamy is too far back to get ahead of Boeing, but gets ahead of Rowley, who is now last of the runners. So, safety car should be in at the end of this lap for the second time. I'm hoping that this race doesn't take about 2 hours to complete, because I have to eat dinner at some point. However, lots of safety cars can mean very interesting strategies going on between these drivers. So it's always fun to see who is going to come out in front. The only person with a time penalty so far is James, who has a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, but I'm pretty sure that's going to get removed since it happened at the start of the safety car, so they might get removed post-race for him. But unfortunately, that penalty, even if it does get removed, is still going to hinder him, because next time he pits, he's going to have to wait 5 seconds, which means this race outcome is still going to be changed. Even if that penalty does get removed by the EXA steward. So, safety car is going to be in again this lap. Charlie, this time, is going to be the one backing everybody up down the main straight. Sorry, Chaz is going to be the one backing everyone up, followed closely by Charlie. It looks like, just judging by the telemetry here, Chaz is actually trying to go as fast as he can here. Although saying that, he is slowing down a little bit here just as the safety car heads into the pit lane now. So now Chaz goes with ERS enabled, deploying that battery to get a bit of a jump. And Charlie gets overtaken. No, they don't. They almost get overtaken by Hey Tony, who's now going down the inside of Charlie, but they're not far enough ahead to make the move, and Charlie stays ahead in second place, closely followed by Hey Tony, closely followed by Alexis. We've got some movement down in the back and a little bit of contact perhaps in the back there. I saw clouds of smoke. Could have been contact, could have been lockups. Hard to tell, but now Fresh making the move down the inside of Bushy. We just about caught that, but they haven't managed to make it stick. I think they're still going wheel to wheel around these 90-degree corners. It's very tough to stick wheel to wheel, but Fresh just about gets ahead, and there's contact between them. I think one of the cars go invisible. It's so hard to tell here. So let's ride on board with Fresh, chasing down James, and wow, this lag is... What is going on here? What is going on? Everything is glitching about for me. I'm really not sure what's going on. And we've got a yellow flag. Why have we got a yellow flag? Nick has retired from the session. Virtual safety car. We haven't even made it one lap. So everyone going to slow down here. And we just had that massive amount of lag. I'm really not sure if this is server-wide or what. But virtual safety car shouldn't be too long before we can get underway. All the drivers having to stick to a delta, which means that the gaps should stay about the same between all of these drivers. So the gap between first and second is currently 1.8 seconds, as we have another retiree, Dark Fade, retiring from the race there. So only 13 drivers left as the virtual safety car is still going, and Bushy pitting for a new set of soft tyres. I believe they pitted for a new set of soft tyres during the first or second safety car anyway. Actually, a couple of people pitting here. Daniel, Rowley, and Boeing. So both Red Bulls have pitted. 16 laps left. We've done 10 of 26. And now a couple of people on these, well, Boeing on the new hard tyres may be looking to go long here if we get 16 laps of no safety car. If the full safety car has come out, as we've just seen here, which is waiting for our leader. So third safety car in 10 laps. Thankfully, I have cracked open a Red Bull. Doesn't mean I'm actually supporting them. What's better, Monster or Red Bull? I don't know. Anyhow. 10 laps in. Fresh in the Ferrari currently has the fastest lap of a 144.9. It's kind of hard to beat the fastest lap of the race when we've only had about 3 or 4 full racing laps here. So we spent most of our time in the behind the safety car, which is fun. Wow, these Red Bull cans are small. A Monster can's bigger. 250 ml. I have a terrible reaction to caffeine. I try to avoid it. But I just couldn't stop yawning. I have a pack of Red Bulls for emergency, and in the past week I've gone through all of them. So a couple of drivers deciding to pit again, Alexis and Tony, putting on a new set of tyres. So everybody on offset strategies. Chaz and Charlie are the only ones who haven't pitted yet in this race. So naturally, they are going to be in the lead. But I'm surprised they didn't pit under this safety car. Although Chaz may be waiting to go a little bit longer, as he started on the hard tyres. Charlie on the mediums could have pitted this lap. Fresh, who was leading the race back when we were racing. Holding his ground in third, but also has 6 lap fresher tyres than the 2 race leaders. So definitely something to look out for on this restart is how good of a jump is Fresh going to be able to get in the first few corners. With 6 lap newer tyres, they're not brand new, but they're still going to have a lot more grip than Chaz and Charlie's, especially considering that 4 laps of those tyres that Fresh has had on, I don't think we've raced a single full lap of them. So we're on lap 11 of 26. I'm praying we see the safety car go in again. It's not. It is going to go in. Thank you. Okay, if anyone here is still racing and is listening to the stream, the aim of Formula 1 is to be the first to the line, not the first to the barrier. So, with that being said, Chaz once again on the restart is going to lead and back everyone up down this main straight as the safety car heads into the pit lane, closely followed by Charlie and then Fresh, who is on the fresher tyres. You see what I did there? Very good stuff. So, Chaz opens the taps and flies down the main straight. Fresh looks like he reacted well, but can't overtake until the checkered line there and tries to go round the outside of Charlie. Has he made the move stick? I think so with those newer tyres. That's what I was talking about. He's managed to make the move stick into turn 1, and now he's super, super close to Chaz. He's got a better exit down the second straight here. Overtake enabled. Goes wheel to wheel, gets ahead just before the corner, but is it going to be enough? They go. There's contact between them as Fresh tries to go around the outside, but still gets a better exit and brings himself up into the lead. Would you look at that? We've had one sector of racing, and it's actually been fun. So, Charlie falling down the order a little bit as James has moved himself up into P3, started on pole, now in third with a 5-second time penalty, which I believe is going to get removed as the lag continues. And Fresh is going to start pulling out a gap from the drivers ahead. I believe the people with 5-lap-old tyres pitted on the second safety car, which means they haven't done any racing laps on those tyres, which means they're essentially brand new. So compared to the 11-lap-old hard tyres of Chaz, they are much, much, much faster. So he's going to start pulling out a big gap. We still haven't had DRS enabled this entire race. So once it does get enabled, Fresh is going to have at least a 2.5-second gap on those two Mercedes out, battling with each other for second position here. James looking to flick to the right of Chaz and get alongside here. Chaz tries to cover off, but he can't down such a long straight. And James gets into second. And Alexis moves up into fifth there. We've just seen round the outside of the championship rival Spartans here. So everything is shaping up to be very interesting here in Azerbaijan once again as we are finally racing underway. And Bushy started in second, making his way up on those brand new soft tyres in the Red Bull up into 7th and climbing his way back through the field. Despite it being a street circuit, lots of heavy braking zones for lots of good overtaking opportunities, but sometimes these drivers can be a bit over optimistic, and that's why we've seen a lot of safety cars. And we've also seen Charlie drop down from P2 into P9 within a few laps of the restart. 1.5 laps of the restart is now under heavy pressure from Adamy and Chaz. Dropped down a couple of positions there. Not sure what happened, but his car's facing in the right direction. He's got no damage, so it can't be anything that bad. Adamy is retired, and it's a full safety car. Hey, Tony gets a 5-second penalty for collision with Boeing. Boeing. Oh. Adamy, I think, has pulled an I am stupid. He put in the chat saying I am stupid in the X3 chat, so I'm going to presume that's what he did. He pulled a Charles Leclerc and put it into the barriers at the castle section. Are we going to see fresh pits for new tyres? Surely not, right? I don't think so. We are going to see fresh head into the pits, and we're going to see James and Pool Diver following him on the 4th safety car, and we're only halfway into this race. This is why I need a co-commentator, because I can't think of enough fun things to say. I can't think of enough fun things to say during the 4th safety car of the race. And I've already explained the Drivers' Championship. And I've already explained how the safety car works. And I've already explained how pit stops work. But let's talk about the pit stops a bit more. Most people deciding to pit. Hey, Tony has fitted the intermediate tyre. Not sure why, but you know what? That's the most entertaining thing about this race. Oh my god. Are we all having fun? I'm not. Is anyone who's spectating in this lobby? Can they get on a call with me? I'm really bored. I want someone to commentate with me. This is the 4th safety car, and we have a Haas on intermediate tyres. Okay, so during that safety car, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers pit under the safety car for new tyres. 2 laps before, everybody else pitted for new tyres. So we'll count it as everybody has pitted. And Hey Tony is on the inters. So maybe they're forecasting rain. I'm having fun. I really don't know what to say. Apart from that, I drank that Red Bull too quick. So I might have a heart attack on stream. Lord, right, who's the admin? Can they change safety cars to off? That's not where, okay. Can they... Why is it on surely for like street circuits they should put the safety car to reduced and then damage to off or something like that. What's the damage on? Reduced. They should have it on off. No, they shouldn't. That would make it boring. That would make people just smash into each other. They should have safety car on reduced for street circuits. Who's the admin of this lobby? Hey Tony has just shagged it into the wall. Admin in the X3 chat says it should be on reduced. Well, it's not. And now I'm losing my mind. I mean, to be fair, we probably still would have 4 safety cars. I mean, the crashes seem to have been pretty detrimental. Right. I'd like to make a petition for Charlie. Jazz, you moron. I'm joking. Right. I would like to make a petition for Baku, Singapore, What else do we race at that street circuits? Jeddah's not too bad. Baku and Singapore, I would like safety cars off for X2 and below. Or at least X3, because that's the one I commentate. And the last... Oh, in Canada, because we had like 3... Oh, and Australia. Canada, safety cars in this lap. Okay, whatever. We you know the process. Alexis is going to back up the pack. Fresh is going to get the jump because he's got newer tyres. Okay, so here's my thought. Canada, Baku. Singapore. And... I've forgotten. Canada, Baku, and Singapore for X3. Please, can we have the safety cars on off? Because clearly, these 18 drivers are not responsible. Lance Stroll type-esque, I'd say. So the race has restarted for about the 6th time, and now Fresh is going to try and get in the lead in front of Alexis. He's on newer tyres. He's gone ghosting. Everybody is ghosting for me. What is going on? Really not sure what's happened, but Fresh has dropped down into 5th. No clue what's going on right now, but hey-ho, Fresh has made his way up a couple of places, going round the outside of Bushy there just before the 3rd corner, and now Spartans is retaking the lead, well, taking the lead of the race and the championship, extending on lap 16 now as Alexis loses the lead of the race to Spartans in the Alfa Romeo, who is now... They're on the fresher tyres compared to Alexis. Alexis on the weaker tyres compared to everyone else as Fresh passes them as well as they head towards the castle section. I'm praying, please, can no one crash? Please, please, please. I died. No one has crashed. Okay, that's good. We are almost there to one full lap of racing here on lap 16 of Baku, but there's contact between Alexis and Bushy, and Alexis almost gets shoved heavily into the wall, and Bushy manages to capitalize off that contact between the two of them and make up a place. Pool diver, very close. Flicks to the side of Alexis, but can't get ahead, and every time I go on the onboard, it glitches. Not sure why, but fun. And James, remember, had that 5-second penalty, so down in 6th after the pit stop, but could get it removed. And Spartans, fastest lap of the race, as we've had one full lap of racing, but now the Williams and the Red Bull going wheel to wheel around turn 1 as we ride on board with James, who's watching this, and there's contact between the two of them, and now James is going to try to go down the inside of Bushy, but he can't get the move done. Bushy managed to stick around the outside, hold the position, hold the racing line, and get the better exit. And now he's going to try and chase down this top 4, which is Pool Diver, Alexis, Fresh, and then Spartans from 4th to 1st. That order was Pool Diver going down the inside of Alexis, bit of contact between them. And now Pool Diver managed to capitalize off that poor exit from Alexis. And now Alexis fighting back, both of them having contact. Bushy manages to capitalize. Why can no one drive in a straight line? Pool Diver falling all the way down the order as Alexis also does so. Both of them getting in a tangle with each other, causing another yellow flag. Alexis straight into the wall there. This is league racing at its finest. And I will go and play Minecraft if we get another safety car. But we still have the green flag, so clearly the FIA do not give 2 F words about that DNF, and neither do I. So, Fresh leads from Spartans by 1.4 seconds here. Spartans championship leader, currently in the lead of the race on lap 17 of 26. We've only got 18 now. So, 9 laps left before we can finally... Oh, we've got DRS! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time that we have had DRS in this entire race, and Fresh can now capitalize it The rear wing. Look at it go. It's open. There's a yellow flag. Why is there a yellow flag? ExA Rolly, please don't cause a safety car. Okay, good. Green flags. Again, Fresh has DRS. Well, had DRS on Spartans. 2 times in this race, you can use that DRS down the main straight and after turn 3 on the second straight. I'm absolutely losing my mind. Anytime I see a yellow flag, I'm going to cry. And I'm also going to put in a petition to remove Baku from ExA because it's been an hour and we're just over the halfway line for this race. And it's a yellow flag as Daniel in the Alpine has spun and is in reverse. I'm praying. I'm really praying that there's no... we're not seeing it. Please. Okay, this guy doesn't know how to... So last week was chaos because of the lobbies in X3. And now it's chaos because no one knows how to drive. So anyway, James is leading his teammate by 3 seconds. Had that 5-second penalty. And actually, let's look at the lead of the race. Because Fresh has DRS to try go round the outside of Spartans, but Spartans had the inside covered and was ahead. And now in 1 corner's time, Fresh is going to have the DRS again. That rear wing is going to be able to open now. But he doesn't have much battery. Neither of these drivers have much battery to attack or defend from this DRS. And Fresh gets ahead just about going into turn 4. The 90-degree left-hander gets ahead. And now is going to try and build this gap. They both have the same age and same compound of tyre. So it's equal playing fields when it comes to what they've got. They've got the same tyres and they've got equal performance on the cars. Of course, here in ExA, we can do that with the equal performance setting. So everyone has the same advantage and it's all down to the drivers and their pace. So... only 11 drivers left in this race. Lots of people forgetting how the brake button works and the steering wheels and all of that good stuff. So they've all crashed into each other. But Fresh, heading round into Sector 3, has got 0.8 seconds between himself and Spartans. Needs to bring it up to a second down this main straight. But I doubt he's going to be able to do that. Spartans has enough ERS to be able to capitalize if he needs to make that extra 10th. But it's 0.9 as they head through the DRS detection zone. And there you go. Spartans has DRS to close down that gap. But let's have a look at Bushy, who is gaining on James for this final podium spot. I would like to remind you that James had a 5-second penalty. But in my mind, it could be removed because it happened right at the beginning of the safety car. And it could just be F123 doing what it does best, which is give you random penalties because it's a very good game. Anyhow, Bushy in the Red Bull, DRS again, chasing down P4, but has no battery to launch an attack. Only 8% of battery in that Red Bull. In fact, a lot of these drivers, let's just have a quick flick through the telemetry. A lot of these drivers have less than 50%. Only about 3 of them actually having enough battery to really launch a full-scale attack with the ERS. Anyhow, Bushy is still very, very close to James, and I am very, very close to breaking the EA servers more than they already are with this lag. Bushy 0.2 away from James as they head round the castle section. And just to remind you, just to inform you that Spartans has fallen 1.9 seconds behind Fresh, which means that this lead is not under threat for now. And they're not going to be making any pit stops, I presume, because we've only got 6 laps of this race left with both McLarens, a Haas, a Ferrari, an Alfa Romeo, an AlphaTauri, and the Aston Martin all retiring from this race. So lap 20 of 26, about to become lap 21 of 26. And Bushy is chasing down James down the main straight. He's going to have DRS to get a bit of extra top speed on that Red Bull as they head towards the first corner. 0.3 seconds between them. And we're actually seeing now Chaz fly past Charlie down the main straight and get ahead just before turn 1 there. So that brings the Mercedes up a position. And let's have a look here as Hey Tony heads into the pits on those hard tyres. Not too sure why, but he does. Is that for a new front wing? Yep, that's for a new front wing for Hey Tony. But let's have a look back for this battle for the final podium position between Red Bull and Mercedes. And Bushy in a Mercedes sandwich, but Chaz is very far behind this battle for P3. 6 seconds between Chaz and Bushy, but only 0.3 seconds between James and Bushy as they head round to the castle section. Very, very, very close to the wall. Tantalizingly close there from Bushy towards the outside wall of the castle section. Now he's going to use a bit of battery down the hill. Very tricky braking zone coming up here. Down the hill. Very easy to lock up as we just saw James do. Cost him a bit of exit speed, about half a tenth there. And now Bushy locking up around the final braking zone of the lap. And Bushy using the last of his battery to get as close as possible to James, who has about 10% more battery, but is not going to have DRS in just a moment. Bushy really, really close here, and that DRS is going to allow him to get alongside. But Bushy's lifting and doesn't want to get the move done into turn 1. So saving it maybe for after turn 2, which they are going around now. And now Bushy with DRS. But the problem is this straight isn't that long enough. So unless you get a really, really good exit, you can't make the move on this on that straight. So it's better just to get the move done into turn 1, which Bushy didn't do. And is now going to be all over the back of James for another half a lap. As we can see a position behind Bushy. Chaz and Charlie, both Charlies, fighting it out for P5 and P6 here. Meanwhile, P8 to P11 are all on new soft tyres. Not sure what's happened there, but they're all deciding to pit for the new soft tyres, and quite a big gap between our back markers in the rest of the runnings of this race. But the battle is between the people on the soft tyres, namely the two Mercedes defending their positions from the Alpine and the Red Bull. Two different fights, but a lot to keep an eye out for as Bushy and James round the final braking zone of the lap. Let's have a look at the battery. Equal battery between both of them, and maybe Bushy has learned from his mistake from the previous lap and get this overtake done with DRS down the main straight. Is very, very close. He got a better launch out the final corner. Now he's got DRS to get alongside and get ahead. And now into the first corner of lap 23 of 26. Bushy up into the podium positions, and we can actually see the same thing happen between Charlie and Chaz. As Chaz almost gets caught in the rear end of Charlie, and Charlie gets ahead in turn 1. So both Mercedes losing out there because of the DRS. And now Bushy having to try to clear a bit of a gap. Clearly has a bit more pace than James. As we've seen, he's been very, very close through the middle part of the lap without the DRS. And by the way, Hey Tony in 9th sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:42.179. So he's going to get an extra point for that, as well as the point he has right now for being in 9th place. So Bushy actually taking a bit of time out of Spartans in 2nd place, 0.5 faster in the first sector. So clearly got a lot of pace with him tonight, and maybe is going to try take down P2. He can see Spartans just heading around the final braking zone, and he was So he was 0.5 faster in the first sector. He was 0.4 faster in the second sector. So he's got a lot of pace here, does Bushy, to try to close down that gap. But he's not free of James's DRS, which could pose to be a bit of a problem for him later on. He's got no battery left either, so he's used all of it trying to extend this gap, but it's all gone down as James slots behind 0.3 of a second between them as they head around the first corner. And now James is going to have DRS again to try to get even closer. If he gets a very good exit, he could maybe get the move done at the end of this DRS zone into turn 3, but the DRS zone just isn't long enough, and that's what 0.5 of a second looks like. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot, and it's not enough for that straight, even with DRS, to be able to get past unless you get an absolutely mega exit compared to the car in front. So, Charlie leads Chaz, but only by 0.3 of a second. There might have been a little bit of contact there, and Charlie's gone a tad wide round turn 4. Or turn 5, sorry. And Chaz is so close to Charlie here as they're fighting it out for P5. Some big points between them. Of course, Mercedes are tied with Alfa Romeo right now. I believe it's Alfa Romeo. Let me just double check. Yes, tied with Alfa Romeo right now in the Constructors' Championship. But with one Alfa Romeo out and two Mercedes looking like they're going to score pretty big points here tonight, this could tip in the way of Mercedes when it comes to the Constructors' Championship. But Spartans is in second, so he's also going to be scoring some very big points tonight. But he can't capitalize on Fresh's pace. 1.1 seconds slower in that previous lap than Fresh. So Fresh has a lot of pace here to be able to extend this lead. It's already 6 seconds. Second to last lap. It looks like it's pretty much over here in Baku for Spartans' dreams of extending. Well, he's still going to be extending the championship as Alexis is in second and is not going to be getting any points tonight as they DNF'd in 12th. So Spartans is going to get a hefty amount of points, but Fresh is going to be closing down. He's currently in P3 in the Drivers' Championship and is going to get a lot of points here for first place as we see Charlie and Chaz still fighting it out between the two of them. Meanwhile, James is still holding on to Bushy by 0.5 of a second, but this midfield battle around the middle of the track, I call it midfield, that's midfield of the drivers left in this race, but it's very much front of the field in comparison. And there's no way for Chaz to get by in this middle half of this lap. It's really only doable in the heavier braking zones of the first sector, really. So it's all about being patient, staying as consistently close as possible to Charlie through the rest of this lap to be able to capitalize on it. But, ooh, he outbraked himself and runs into the back of Charlie, giving Charlie a bit of a nudge around the corner. I'm not sure if he has any wing damage, but he's not going to want to pit for it anyway because Fresh has just started the final lap of the race, and we're about to see James has just moved himself up into P3 with DRS, making it work. Bushy's going to have DRS down the short straight, but I don't think it's going to be enough to retake the podium spot on this final lap of the race. He's got a pretty good exit, but he gets bogged down there in 5th gear, and it looks like James has managed to secure this podium because there's not much overtaking able on this final lap. Saying that, if Bushy does save up his ERS around this lap, he could have a good opportunity for a drag race to the line down the main straight, which is incredibly long. The whole sector of Sector 3, you're not braking at all. And the same story could be said between Charlie and Chaz. It's all about who's got more ERS. Charlie has 38%. Chaz has 59%. Let's have a look at the other battle. Bushy has 17% of ERS. Meanwhile, James has 25%. So, if James can keep the ERS and the track position, this could be a podium for James here tonight. But Let's have a look at Spartans. 8-second gap between him and Fresh. It's completely over there. And there's a yellow flag. What's the yellow flag for? Chaz has binned it. Oh, no. That could have been his chance to get back the position from Charlie. But now he's dropped into 7th. And Charlie is going to have 5th place secured. But it's not over for the podium's position. And we're about to see Fresh win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He won in Belgium by a stroke of luck, some would say, but now he wins on pure pace from Azerbaijan. Great drive there from Fresh. Despite all the carnage, he manages to win, and it's a drag race to the line between Bushy and James, but it's not enough. And Bushy comes home in 4th, behind James in the Mercedes in 3rd, Spartans in 2nd. Charlie comes home in 5th place and crosses the line now. Pool Diver in 6th, and then it's Chaz coming home in 7th for Mercedes. So some big points for Mercedes today, which is going to extend their lead for the championship. Hey, Tony spinning around the line in 8th, as well as Boeing. ExA Rowley lagging behind in 10th, but still a point for him. And then Daniel, at least he managed to finish the race. No points for him, but still managed to win the race. Not win, sorry. Finish the race. Did I say win the race? I didn't say finish. Sorry, I was zoned out. I was reading the chat and getting everyone's thoughts on the end of this race. So there you go. Only 11... Do you see that hash there? Only 11 drivers finished this race. We had about 4 or 5 safety cars. And it was absolutely nuts. But there you go. Driver of the day to ExA Rowley. Congratulations. But Fresh wins here in Baku, which is going to give him a hefty amount of points towards that towards that driver's championship. That's going to bring him up 25 points. And if I have a look at the driver's standings after Canada, driver standings Canada. Where's Fresh? So Fresh, he's going to get bumped up to 5th place, I believe, ahead of Charlie. So he's currently 7th. Going to bring himself up into 5th. Spartans is going to extend his lead with that 2nd place. No, sorry, is that? Yes, that's correct. Yes. So there you go. Was pole converted? It was not. I do believe pole was not converted. Yes, it wasn't. So there you go. We can finish that prediction. Choose outcome. Did pole convert to a win? No. There you go. So congratulations to Fresh for winning here in Azerbaijan, followed by Spartans, our championship leader. Then James, Bushy, Charlie, Pool Diver, Chaz, Hey Tony, Boeing, Rowley, and Daniel, the only people to finish this race. Everybody else DNF'd in a pile of smoke. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching today's carnage of a race. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all tomorrow for X1, where we will be racing in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. That'll be interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.